Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Today, we're getting into what I like to call a masterclass on human connection. We're exploring the profound, honestly transformative power of helping others. Now, usually when we think of charity or kindness or volunteering, we think of it as something we do strictly for the benefit of someone else, right? It's kind of viewed as this one-way street, a transaction where we give away our time or our money or our energy, and that's it. But the data we're about to unpack today completely flips that old narrative right on its head. It turns out helping others isn't just some moral imperative, it is a massive physiological and psychological game changer for the giver, for you. We're going to break down exactly how making a meaningful difference in someone else's life actually, literally enriches your own mind and your own body.
So think about this for a second. What if the secret to a longer life is actually giving yours away? I know, it sounds like some kind of deep philosophical riddle, but what we're looking at today isn't just philosophy. It's hard, verifiable science. We're going to uncover how the very act of extending your time, your energy, and your empathy to someone else actually pays you back in a currency that is infinitely more valuable than money. It literally pays you back in time.
5 years. Just let that number sink in for a moment. 5 extra years of life. According to researchers over at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, engaging in regular altruistic activities has been linked to an average lifespan increase of 5 years. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, think about it. We spend so much time and money trying to optimize our diets, tracking our sleep cycles on our watches, sweating for hours at the gym, all to maybe add a few good years to our lives. But this research, it shows that the simple, fundamental act of helping other people has life-extending effects that are actually comparable to the benefits of regular physical exercise. No way, right? But it's true. Now, the absolute key word here is regular. It's that consistency of showing up for others that actively rewires our biology for longevity. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the science of helping, move into everyday acts of kindness, talk about volunteering and sharing skills, look at supporting mental health, share some real stories of impact, and finally give you the blueprint on how you can start.
Okay, moving right along to section 1, the science of helping. Have you ever heard of the helper's high? It sounds like a cute metaphor, but actually, scratch that, it's not a metaphor at all. It is a measurable, biological reality. When we help others, our bodies physically respond by releasing this massive flood of endorphins. But why? Why does our body do that? Well, evolutionary biology suggests that back in the early days of human history, our survival literally depended on the cohesive strength of our tribe. You couldn't survive alone. Human beings were hardwired to protect and support their community. So even today, in the modern world, our biology still rewards us with these feel-good neurochemicals when we assist someone else. It's like a built-in reward system. And this endorphin rush does something really important. It actively lowers cortisol, which you might know is our primary stress hormone. And since chronic stress is a major, major factor in so many illnesses, reducing that stress literally fortifies your immune system. You are biologically rewarded for your kindness and physically protected by your own altruism. It's a win-win.
And this right here perfectly illustrates that incredible two-way street I was talking about. On the personal, physiological side, Harvard notes a massive 40% increase in feeling very happy for people who regularly help others, a 40% boost. Meanwhile, a huge meta-analysis by the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, shows a 20 to 30% reduction in depression and anxiety for regular volunteers. That's huge for mental health. But then let's zoom out to the macro level. Look at the economy. In the US alone, in just 2023, volunteer time was valued at an absolutely staggering $484 billion. Billion with a B. That is a massive economic engine driven entirely by people just being generous with their time. And it gets better. Communities with high civic engagement see a 17% drop in crime rates. So your personal health and our broad public safety are both directly, fundamentally tied to how much we just help each other out. Let's move into section 2, everyday acts of kindness. Now, you might be wondering, do I need to start a massive nonprofit to get these benefits? Absolutely not. You don't need a huge public platform or a massive bank account to trigger all those amazing physiological benefits we just talked about. We're talking about highly accessible, everyday actions that require literally zero budget. Holding a door, helping an elderly neighbor carry up their heavy groceries, shoveling a little extra snow off the neighbor's driveway when you're doing your own, or simply looking a service worker in the eye, like really looking at them, and offering a genuine, heartfelt thank you.
These micro interactions, they might take 10 seconds of your day, but they completely disrupt the autopilot of modern urban isolation. They rapidly break down those invisible kind of cold walls we subconsciously build up between each other in our busy, fast-paced lives. And that creates immediate, powerful emotional ripple effects.
So the crucial takeaway here is this. According to Gallup polling, nearly 60% of people, 59% to be exact, report experiencing a significant mood boost after just helping a neighbor with a simple task. Almost 2/3 of us get an immediate, highly noticeable lift in our spirits from doing something incredibly small for someone nearby. It takes basically zero effort, yet it fosters this localized connection that strengthens the community bond instantly. It's the ultimate low-effort, high-reward scenario.
All right, Section 3, volunteering and sharing skills. Let's step it up a notch. When you zoom out from the neighborhood level, you realize that our essential services simply cannot function without human generosity. Picture a bustling food distribution center early on a Saturday morning, just chaotic, organized good. In 2023, an impressive 77.9 million American adults volunteered their time, almost 78 million people. These individuals serve as the critical, load-bearing backbone of social services that governments and the private sector simply cannot fully cover on their own. Take Meals on Wheels, for example. It's a prime example. They deliver over 225 million nutritious meals annually to isolated seniors. 225 million. That incredible logistical feat is made possible almost entirely by everyday volunteers just deciding to show up day after day, week after week.
But it's not just about physical labor. The impact of sharing your specific expertise is also tremendous. Look at this. Mentoring youth has been shown to increase graduation rates by 20%. 20% more kids crossing that stage just because someone took an interest. Sharing your academic knowledge through tutoring helps a massive 80% of students tangibly improve their grades. And teaching digital literacy to older adults, that boosts their technology adoption by 60%, which is so critical because it drastically reduces their profound feelings of isolation. But here's the fascinating psychological twist that I absolutely love. Research from the Education Endowment Foundation shows that peer learning actually reinforces the tutor's own understanding. It's a reciprocal advantage. Mentally organizing information so that you can clearly teach it to someone else literally forces your own brain to master the subject matter on a much deeper level. By teaching, you're actively learning.
And this really highlights how local, seemingly small neighborhood actions seamlessly scale up to create massive global impacts. For instance, consider community tree planting. Research shows that restoring the local environmental canopy can reduce neighborhood pollution by up to 30%. 30% cleaner air just from planting some trees with your neighbors. Then contrast that hyper-localized effort with the massive, scalable logistics of food security. Organizations like Feeding America have streamlined their operations so efficiently that they can stretch a mere $10 donation into 40 nutritious meals. 40 meals for $10? It goes to show that individual actions, when coordinated through effective platforms, scale dramatically. Your small effort pulls together with thousands of others to create truly transformative worldwide change. Next up, Section 4, supporting mental health. This is a deeply important topic. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, 1 in 5 adults experiences mental illness yearly. 1 in 5. That means someone you know right now is likely struggling. Let's break down the 4 equal pillars of providing emotional support to the people in our lives. First, active listening. This doesn't mean offering solutions. It means putting your phone completely away, making eye contact, and giving your full attention without judgment just to make them feel validated. Second, regular check-ins. We're talking a quick text or a 5-minute call, just showing ongoing, reliable care. Third, physical presence. Honestly, sometimes just sitting quietly in the same room with someone deeply reduces their feelings of acute isolation. You don't even have to talk. And fourth, resource sharing. Helping them navigate the incredibly daunting task of finding professional hotlines or booking a therapy appointment when they're too overwhelmed to do it themselves. These aren't grand, dramatic, movie-style gestures, but they are literal lifelines. I really want to emphasize a truly powerful statistic here. Peer support reduces recovery time by an impressive 35% compared to traditional treatment alone, over a third faster recovery. Simply being there for someone, actively checking in, and showing you genuinely care isn't just a polite thing to do or a nice thing to do. It actively, measurably accelerates their mental and emotional healing process. Your empathy is literally medicine. Let's jump into Section 5, Real Stories of Impact, because we need to ground all this data in real human lives. Let's look at the sheer, undeniable scale of human empathy over the years. Think back to 2017 when Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston. It wasn't just official rescue teams who stepped up. Everyday citizens formed what famously became known as the Cajun Navy. Regular people hitched up their own personal flat-bottomed fishing boats to their pickup trucks, navigated dangerous, toxic floodwaters, and independently rescued over 9,000 trapped people. 9,000. Then look at the ongoing everyday impact of organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters in New York, where 70% of their mentees go on to pursue college, a rate that is well above the city average. And let's not forget 2020. During the terrifying heights of the pandemic lockdowns, anonymous Reddit communities rapidly mobilized online to organize over 500,000 acts of targeted assistance. 500,000 acts, from coordinating safe grocery drop-offs for immunocompromised strangers to crowdfunding emergency medical expenses. When the chips are down, humans show up for each other.
But remember, all those massive, mind-boggling statistics, they are completely made up of individual, life-changing human moments. Consider the story of a single mother of 3 living in Atlanta. By working alongside dedicated volunteers through Habitat for Humanity, she was able to physically build her own home. This single act of community assistance didn't just give her a dry roof to sleep under, it fundamentally, permanently broke a generational cycle of housing instability. It laid a secure, unshakable foundation for her children's future academic and financial success. Helping out in this way doesn't just put a bandage on a problem, it cures the root cause for generations to come.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, How You Can Start.
So how do you actually take all this and apply it? Here is your blueprint to helping. Step 1. Identify your passion. You will make a far bigger, much longer-lasting impact if you actually care about the underlying cause, whether that happens to be animal welfare, local education, or environmental conservation. Find what moves you. Step 2. Start small and specific. Listen, you do not need to quit your job and try to change the entire world overnight. The psychological reason we want to start small is because creating a low-friction habit prevents burnout. It ensures long-term consistency in your volunteering. Calling an elderly relative, donating $5, or dedicating just 1 single hour a month, that is the perfect, manageable start. And step 3, connect and collaborate. Multiply your impact by joining existing community groups. Trust me, there's an organization out there right now that desperately needs the unique skills and resources that you specifically have to offer. I want to leave you with this profound thought from Anne Frank. She wrote, "No one has ever become poor by giving. And as we've explored today, giving actually makes us richer. Richer in physiological health, richer in community resilience, and richer in deep, enduring happiness. The scientific and emotional rewards of helping others fundamentally outweigh whatever time or resources you choose to invest." So here's the final question you need to ask yourself as we wrap up this explainer. What is the one small act of kindness that you are going to commit to today?